Continue. Number one, purposes for which carrying is permitted on Yom Tov. Oh, here we go. A. Matters pertaining to food consumption. Chol nefesh. Right, so the Chol nefesh is whatever needs to for food. Of course, it would consider it matches, right? So to make a fire, this and that. So all of these pots, pans. Okay. The most basic purpose for which carrying is permitted on Yom Tov is Chol nefesh. It is permitted to carry food on Yom Tov to a location where one is needed it. For example, one may borrow food from a neighbor to carry home. Okay, no problem. See chapter 31 for the laws of borrowing on Yom Tov. Okay. So chapter 15, yeah, we're going to get to it. So it's not so simple. What is the problem? So on Shabbos and Yom Tov, we are forbidden to do business transaction. So borrowing, in some sense, it's like a business transaction. So sometimes a person would buy on credit, meaning what? That he's going to take an item and said, I'm going to pay you later. Okay, very interesting. So of course there are some restrictions. Similar on Sukkot, one may carry his Yom Tov meal from his home to the Sukkah across the public domain. Okay. So I always thought in this area that I told you before, I think last time, Lower East Side, when Rabbi Moshe Feinstein Zatzal used to live. So it's used to be like a 2-story building, 3-story buildings, very cramped with people, these immigrants from Europe, especially after the war, right, and even before the war, 5-story building. But then there were a few factories, very famous factories, and they have unions of people, right? Union worker, and they built actually whole buildings, like huge buildings. I don't know how many stories, 15 stories, 6 at 20, I don't know, like huge buildings. And that's where most of the Jews lived, in this building. So, and they have like yard, like a common space, and they would build the communal sukkah, or several of them, so the management allowed, and they would carry all of the foods downstairs. So, like for example, if you live on the 4th floor, 3rd floor, like carrying everything that you need. Like I have a porch, right, where we put the sukkah on the porch. Even sometimes on the porch, you have to go back and forth, and it's like everything is tiny. You have the tiny kitchen, that tiny porch, like I don't know how many steps, but sometimes you walk like 3, 4, 10 times back and forth. You forgot that, you forget this, and you already get tired. So these people who live on the 3rd floor and they have to walk another 100 feet to get, or 200 feet to get to this communal sukkah, that's too much. But this one of things that is allowed on Yom Tov. Maybe that's one of the reasons people living from that place. I mean, it's they can for the same amount of money they pay for these apartments, they can buy a huge house for kids to run around, right? No carrying in sukkah necessary. You can have your own sukkah. Okay, so B, others Yom Tov needs. So first we said food. Okay, other. It is permissible mitoch. Since it is permitted for the purpose of preparing food, it is permitted for other purposes as well. See chapter 3. So again, mitoch, since it is permitted for this, it is permitted for other things. And example that I'm going to remind you is since it is permitted to boil water to make yourself soup or hot coffee. So it is permitted to boil water or warm up water to wash the dishes, to wash your hands, to wash your face and stuff like that. So, okay, since it is permitted for this, it is permitted for that. Okay, so and this permission also applies to carrying. So initial permission is for the food, and this mitoch is actually extension. Okay. Thus, one may carry the item through the public domain for the sake of any Yom Tov need. So whatever you need for Yom Tov, any books, whatever you need, glasses, some people need reading glasses, and some people need talus. Talus is the problem, but We're going to explain. I mean, it's not a problem if you carry it correctly, but tissues, whatever you need, candies. However, as mentioned in chapter 3, mito does not permit doing Melachah when it's not for a Yom Tov need. Accordingly, carrying is permitted only if the item being carried will fulfill Yom Tov need or will enhance one's enjoyment for the festival, Simchas Yom Tov. So you're allowed to carry the item. They did not say, but I mean, it's implied. We repeated so many times. We'll remember by heart. Whatever you need only for this day, not for the next day. So whatever I need for this day of Yom Tov, I can carry. Whatever I need for the next day of Yom Tov, I cannot carry. So meaning what? If you're going to carry anyway, so you have to derive any benefit from that item in this day of Yom Tov. Okay, so the classic example would be to carry in Haggadah, right? So somebody invite you to their house for the second day of Pesach, and you decided to go to the shul together. So you cannot carry Haggadah, like practically. Why? Because it's for sure for the next day, for second day of Yom Tov. Today is first day. So the solution is you learn Haggadah a little in the shul. There's no preparation. You look over like all of the steps. Right, so then it's going to be for this day. Nevertheless, it is permitted in not limited to cases where one is definitely use the item on Yom Tov. It is permissible to carry even something concerning which there is a reasonable possibility that it will be needed. For example, one may carry a raincoat in his hand on a cloudy day, because of the possibility that it will rain and he will need it to wear it. Okay, that's very interesting. We will discuss below further particulars of the restriction of the carrying items unnecessarily. So that's a different story. So if you wear this raincoat, there is no problem whatsoever, according to all of the opinions. It's not considered to be carrying if it's a very sunny day, right? In the middle of the summer, you have your winter coat. There is no problem because it's not considered to be carrying. It's article of clothing. Okay, but if you want to carry it in your hand, that's an issue. Right, but they say if it's reasonable to suspect it's going to rain later, right? So then you're allowed to carry. Okay. So any questions on what you said?
Lulav?
Yes. Go ahead.
Question the board says, Shalom Lulav. Is the area out of an apartment within the apartment building considered public domain / carmelis?
Yes. So our private domain is only our outdoor. As soon as I open the door, across that threshold, that's a public domain. Not public, carmelis, but we treat it as public. So we have to be very, very careful with that. Okay.
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
So technically, taking the hand out of the window while wearing, something like we're not supposed to carry, like a watch or something like that. Would this be considered carrying?
Carrying, the definition of carrying. It's a very good question. It's an amazing question. The definition of carrying, of course, we skipped it. Not of course, but we skipped it. That you pick up in one domain something, and you walk 4 amos, or even you don't walk 4 amos, and you put in a public domain, right? So that's it. So, but since you stick out the hand in the window, let's say. Watches are not a good example. I mean, it is good, but let's make something different, like totally different. You had in your hand a book, right? So you stick your hand in the book. Maybe it's also not a good example. Or something, right? Well, you had something in your hand and you brought back. Since you never put it down in a public domain, so it's not considered to be carrying. You understand? So, and in some cases, case of necessity, I don't want to make it to complicate our topic, but if in case of necessity, continue moving, don't stop. Right? So it's not going to be considered carrying. Continue moving, because as soon as you stop, so it's like you have this item in your pocket, you establish a permanent location, even for 1 second. So those are these joggers, right? They never stop. They're on a traffic light, they jog a little on the same place. Okay, so probably they try to emulate this the carrying or not carrying. Okay, so I think we can stop here and see if you have any other questions, please. Yes, go ahead.
So about this issue of carrying, so what about how does this, like Leib just explained, apply to the prohibition of carrying stuff inside our pockets, things that we don't need? We are not necessarily putting these things on a public domain. We're kind of constantly moving with them. So I don't know. I was wondering.
Yeah, but you stop from time to time. You stop. That's it. So of course, carrying is not only direct carrying, but even indirect. So what is indirect? So as I said, in your pocket. So it's proper, absolutely proper, for a man, for a woman, doesn't matter, to have Shabbos clothing. And in Shabbos clothing, make sure you never ever put anything in your pockets. Never ever. So I have this like a thing. I never open my side pockets in my my jacket. It's always sewn shut. So I would not put by myself. It's not my Shabbos jacket, but that's my custom. I never open up. You understand? I never put my Shabbos pants. Never ever. Even for example, for example, I use a tissue, right? And I'm sometimes I would put it in a pocket, but on Shabbos and Yom Tov, I never ever put it in a pocket. So I would carry in my hand, go to the waste basket, put it in a basket, and that's it. Never put it in a pocket. Why? Because it's only a matter of time when you forget and you're going to carry. And same with glasses, yeah, and that's why it says there is I don't know, just one practical example. It is forbidden to go in sunglasses outside on Shabbos. Why? Because you saw outside, yeah, it's very sunny. You put your sunglasses and then it become not so sunny, or you're in the shade and you wanted to take your glasses and sunglasses off, and guess what? You're going to carry for amos in the public domain. It's very simple. That's why I also just say don't wear, unless of course there is exception when somebody have a very, very sensitive vision, right? And the sun can damage their eyesight. That's a exception. So meaning that person is so sensitive, so they never ever going to remove the sunglasses. You understand? So that's why in this case, those specific exceptions, we do not worry. But with all other people who put them for style, for sure it is forbidden.
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome. Just one example. Okay. What else?
I was wondering, so say if a person lives not too close to shul and still has to walk to Ed, is this person, in the case this person is living on a not so safe neighborhood, would this person be allowed to carry something for personal defense, such as pepper spray, something like that?
No, absolutely not. No. So I say don't go to shul, right? Because this is serious Melachah. It's one of the 29 Melachas. that we are not allowed to carry. So it's a biblical Melachah not to carry, and it's rabbinical Melachah to pray in shul. So we don't perform rabbinical and canceling biblical. That's not what we do. You're welcome.
So this thing would not become, this item of personal defense would never become something necessary for the person, regardless.
The only exception is when someone has this seizures from time to time, and it's not like once a month, like would come from nowhere. So in this case, they would allow. In the olden days, there is like there's some pills from the seizure, some spray. I don't remember exactly. So they would allow the person to carry indirectly. So even this pill, they would put in all the days they would carry like wear this fedora hat, and there is inside there is something, I don't know whatever it's called, like sweatband, I think it's called, right? And put the pill behind this sweatband. You understand? So it's a very indirect carrying. So, but otherwise, because it's for sure it's pikuach nefesh, because it can come in any time, and staying at home is going to disturb that person very much. So some people get upset, but sometimes I get upset with these people even more than they're upset not coming to shul. So, for example, they install in the shul that they go the lift for a wheelchair. Right, of course, we have a non-Jew who operates. So I asked Rabbi. Of course, he expected me to ask, because nobody asked. Everybody saying Chazaka Baruch. I said, how is it allowed, Rabbi? He said, the non-Jew. I said, but still, he doing for a Jew. Like, don't play stupid here. And of course, I'm telling you, I didn't tell him. I said, but he's doing for the benefit of the Jew. But he said, yeah, but this guy, he's so lonely. He wants to come to the shul to hear to Torah reading. But this guy who comes to the shul with a wheelchair, right? Of course, there is like no more. So somebody's pushing, like HaMoed, would push him right on a wheelchair. But then this lift is going to, electric lift is going to lift it up on a different level. That's all he needs. But this guy never comes on a weekday. So if he misses shul so much, so come on a weekday. Why only on Shabbos day? That's very interesting. You understand? So there's these people who said that they disturb if they don't come to the shul. So if you so disturb, so you have this home aid, this house aid. I guess somebody who cannot work can have this 24 hours, maybe 7 days a week. I'm just I think this way, right? It's logically. So why would you not come over for a fast day, for any day? But this guy insists only on coming Shabbos day. I mean, it's their business. I'm not getting involved, but some people over exaggerate their feelings, I think. So if you're zealous, be zealous always. If you're not zealous, so don't push it. Okay. Go ahead. What else?
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome.